Our reading for Saturday, August 2nd is Numbers chapter 21. If this isn't a chapter you've heard or read before, you might find this one interesting. When the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was coming on the Atharim road, he fought against Israel and captured some prisoners. Then Israel made a vow to the Lord, "If you will hand this people over to us, we will completely destroy their cities." The Lord listened to Israel's request and handed the Canaanites over to them, and Israel completely destroyed them and their cities. So they named the place Hormah. Then they set out from Mount Hor by way of the Red Sea to bypass the land of Edom. But the people became impatient because of the journey. The people spoke against God and Moses. "Why have you led us up from Israel to die in the wilderness? There is no bread or water, and we detest this wretched food." Then the Lord sent poisonous snakes among the people, and they bit them, so that many Israelites died. The people then came to Moses and said, "We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Intercede with the Lord so that he will take the snakes away from us. Among us." And Moses interceded for the people. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake image and mount it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks at it, he will recover." So Moses made a bronze snake and mounted it on a pole. Whenever someone was bitten and he looked at the bronze snake, he recovered. The Israelites set out and camped at Oboth. They set out from Oboth and camped at Abarim in the wilderness that borders Moab on the east. From there they went and camped at Zered Valley. They set out from there and camped on the other side of the Arnon River, in the wilderness that extends from the Amorite border, because Arnon was the Moabite border between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it was stated in the book of the Lord's wars, Waheb and Suphah, and the ravines of the Arnon, even the slopes of the ravines that extended to the site of Ar, and lie along the border of Moab. From there they went to Beer, the well the Lord told Moses about. "Gather the people so I may give them water." Then Israel sang this song, "Spring up, a well, sing to it." The princes dug the well. The nobles of the people hollowed it out with a scepter and with their staffs. They went from the wilderness to Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nahaleel, from Nahaleel to Bamoth, from Bamoth to the valley in the territory of Moab near the Pisgah highlands that overlook the wasteland. Israel sent messengers to say to King Sihon of the Amorites, "Let us travel through your land. We won't go into the fields or vineyards. We won't drink any well water. We will travel the king's highway until we travel through your territory." But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. Instead, he gathered his whole army and went out to confront Israel in the wilderness. When he came to Jahaz, he fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only up to the Ammonite border because it was fortified. Israel took all the cities and lived in all these Amorite cities, including Heshbon and its surrounding villages. Heshbon was the city of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and had taken control of all his land as well as the Arnon. Therefore the poets say, "Come to Heshbon. Let it be rebuilt. Let the city of Sihon be restored, for the fire came out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the citizens of Arnon's heights. Woe to you, Moab! You have been destroyed, people of Chemosh." He gave up his sons as refugees and his daughters into captivity to Sihon, the Amorite king. We threw them down. Heshbon has been destroyed as far as Dibon. We caused desolation as far as Nophah, which reaches as far as Medeba. So Israel lived in the Amorites' land. After Moses sent spies to Jazer, Israel captured its surrounding villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up the road to Bashan, and King Og of Bashan came out against them with his whole army to do battle at Edrei, I'm not sure how you say a lot of these towns. But the Lord said to Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have handed him over to you along with his whole army and his land. Do to him as you did to Sihon of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon. So they struck him, his sons, and his whole army until no one was left, and they took possession of his land. Numbers chapter 21. The bronze serpent story is not a story. I like to call them accounts. Pinocchio's a story. Cinderella's a story. Sleeping Beauty's a story. Biblical narratives are accounts. These are things that happened. The narrative of the bronze serpent is a fascinating account. And then, of course, some of the stuff where it talks about cities they moved to and stuff, that's kind of stuff that we can wonder, why am I reading this? What's in here? And without getting into explanations, I'm reading it because it's in the Bible. But then we get to the destruction of these two cities and the conquering these two kings, Og and King Sihon. And these two kings are names that are repeatedly going to come up as we continue reading through the Old Testament. Honestly, as we've read through some of the Psalms, I'm not certain at this point. We might have come across their names already because they come up in so many places. The Lord is regularly reminding the Israelites, or the Israelites are bringing these up as constant reminders. So we're going to hear their names a lot. But thanks for joining me today. Thanks to all who subscribe. We've crossed the 50 threshold. I've got over 50 subscribers. I have no idea if how any or how many are watching it, but thanks to everyone who is watching it. Appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow.